That's not what they're really about. Fox News contributor and former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino joins me now. It can't be what they're about, Dan. They're not simply looking out for the working class and the working man. We have seen this over and over. These are the entitled, educated, downwardly mobile, grew up rich kids of America who are pioneering the DSA.
Yeah, you basically have two subsets of people in this socialist branch of the New Democrat Party. You have, obviously, the straight-up evil ones, mocking the tragic death of our friend Charlie Kirk, like Hassan Piker did in that video you played. Will, there's not enough words or adjectives. It's just evil. I don't have another way to describe that. So if you're a Democrat out there, a prominent Democrat, elected Democrat, a party leader, or an activist, Hassan Piker and his candidates are using your brand and your movement. It's not good enough to say, well, listen, we're a Big Ten party and we have a lot of different ideas. Yeah, one of them includes celebrating the murder of a prominent political activist on the right. Like, that's kind of a big deal. Like, the quality or lack of the idea matters under that brand. So that's just the evil component of it. The second subset, which you addressed, is this other guy who lives in a $1.5 million home. These are just straight up frauds. These are the Bernie Sanders of the world, it's the millionaires, okay? These people are fake, phony. You have to ask yourself, if you're a reasonable, common sense person watching the program right now, how does the policy you're prescribing to people, high taxes, government monopolies on schools, government-run healthcare, how does it survive first contact with the real world? Because there is no contact with the real world for these people, because they don't have any contact with the real world. The only ones prescribing this stuff are rich liberal millionaires and insulated silver spoon babies like this kid. There is no contact with the real world for them. It would fall apart.
Dan, just before we go, if you had to guess, I'll give you my estimation. Tell me what you think yours are. That secondary crew, the Gustavo Gordillo part of it, that's the dime a dozen. I think it's actually a good thing that I'm going to say the Hassan Pikers are the two a dozen. Two can, by the way, two can ruin a whole barrel, right? Two bad apples can ruin the whole barrel. But it's primarily made up of frauds and idiots, and only secondarily made up of the true evil, like you point out, that is what we're hearing from Hassan Piker.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is the evil's got a big megaphone, you know, Will? I don't disagree with you. I certainly wouldn't say like a working class Democrat in West Virginia who's, you know, a miner, a coal miner or something is evil. You're never going to hear those words come out of mine. We vote different, but I don't think you're necessarily evil. However, the evil ones are the ones with these big megaphones saying these insane things that are polluting the minds of young and impressionable kids out there who believe this guy's some kind of a role model. You don't just get to walk away from that. And, you know, the old deodorant commercial, was it Charles Barkley? I'm not a role model. Well, then get out of the public space and stop screaming and trying to influence people who may see you as such with these evil ideas.
By the way, I don't think that the West Virginia mine workers even represented in this dozen. They're not interested in the DSA in any form. They're not represented in this part of the far left. Those guys, if they're still voting Democrat, and not many of them are, I'm sure this is as foreign to them as it is to you or me, Dan Bongino. Always good to see you. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, bud. Thank you.
All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.